Welcome back to Week 9 of Fantasy Football Fridays. I'm Brody Heidemann. Today we're going to be going over Week 14 of the NFL. Already almost done with the season. And to start off with the 7-6 Vikings taking on the 7-6 Bengals. And both these teams, injuries to their quarterback position earlier on in the year. They lost their starting quarterback. And now Jake Browning, he has stepped up for this Bengals offense, and he has been everything they've hoped for. He's led them to the wins they've needed. He's been good, and that's what, if you have Jake Browning and you need a quarterback, start Jake Browning. He's going to be this viable option for your quarterback spot. Also, if you do have Justin Jefferson, please start Justin Jefferson. He's going to play this week, and I think he's going to have a big game. Nick Mullins in at quarterback, he's going to be his main target, so I would start Justin Jefferson. And my sit of the week, I'm going to sit T. Higgins. I know it kind of sounds crazy. T. Higgins, who you would think would be one of the better wide receivers in the league, I'm going to sit him. He's not done nothing this season. T. Higgins has been terrible, and I'm going to sit him if you have him on your team. My prediction, I think Jake Browning gets it done yet again. Give me the Bengals winning 28-21 over the Vikings. Next up, though, Steelers taking on the Colts. And both these games, these are on Saturdays, so reminder for that. These are on a Saturday. We have some Saturday football. I believe there's 2 straight weeks of Saturday football with the holiday coming up. But the Steelers versus the Colts, Jonathan Taylor, he's questionable again. I believe he will not play, so that's why I'm going to start Zach Moss again. I think he's going to have a good game. And another name who's been popping off lately, Michael Pittman Jr. He has had a great month. He's had multiple 20-point-plus performances. He's getting a lot of receptions from Gardner Minshew. That's why I would start him for the Steelers, though. Please sit Najee Harris and George Pickens. They have done nothing with this offense. Somehow the Steelers are above 500. I don't know how. I don't think the Steelers are going to win this one, though. Give me the Colts winning 31-23 over the Steelers. Next up, Saturday Night Football. Broncos taking on the Lions, and both these teams kind of been surprising so far this year. The Lions 9-4, the Broncos 7-6. The Broncos, they have just been doing good lately. They've been popping off. They have a chance to take over the lead in the division over Kansas City if Kansas City loses this week. Russell Wilson, he's been amazing at quarterback so far this season. 23 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions. That's why if you need Russell Wilson, I would start him. He's been really good. Courtland Sutton as well. He's got 10 touchdowns on the season. He's a viable option in their wide receiver. I'm going to sit David Montgomery, though. He didn't have a very good week last week. He's kind of just bouncing around. He's been doing decent. The Lions coming off the loss to the Bears. I'm going to sit him, though. I don't think he does very good this week. Give me the Lions getting a bounce-back win, though. I think they do fine. I think it's the Broncos somehow score 24-plus every single game. Give me the Broncos losing, though, 25-31 over the Lions. Next up, Bears taking on the Browns, and the Bears somehow 5-8. They have just kind of squeaked out a few wins. They had Tyson Bagent in at quarterback, and now Justin Fields back in at quarterback. He's been pretty decent. He came off a good week last week. He's been pretty good for him, but there's a player for the Browns who, if you would have told me before the season was going to play, I would have told you you're crazy, and that's Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco has been amazing for the Browns so far, taking over for an injured Deshaun Watson. That's why my start of the week for the Bears versus the Browns is Joe Flacco. He has been amazing. He's been all they need. He's been all they want. And I think he's going to go off again. Sit Justin Fields, though. This Browns defense is going to take advantage of him. They have shut down quarterbacks like Justin Fields in the past, so please sit Justin Fields. My score prediction, I think it's a lot closer of a game. I think we're going to have a lot closer games this week. Give me the Browns winning 28-24 over the Bears. Next up, Packers taking on the Bucks, 6-7 versus 6-7. And Jordan Love, he's coming off. He played decent. They didn't get the win against the Giants somehow. But Jordan Love, he's been playing decent. He had a really, really good month of November, and then he closed and started December really good. I'm going to start Jordan Love. He's been a viable option at quarterback. I'm going to sit Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans as well. Mike Evans, he has not had any good weeks lately. He's got 1,000 yards in the season, but he's coming off a week where he only had 1 point, which was, very, very lackluster for a possible wide receiver one. So that's why I'm going to sit him. Again, this is going to be quick. My score prediction, I think the Packers can get the win here. Give me the Packers winning 31-10 over the Buccaneers. Next up, AFC matchup between the Texans and the Titans, and C.J. Stroud. He got a little banged up last week. He's questionable playing this week. He might have a concussion. Got to watch that. It's a big developing story, and if he does play, I'm going to sit C.J. Stroud. Crazy. I've said to start him all season. I'm going to sit C.J. Stroud if he does play. I'm going to start Will Levis. Will Levis has been doing really good. Him and DeAndre Hopkins, I think they're going to have a big game. I think the Texans are going to not be able to win this one. I think the Titans, we got to win late here in the season. Give me the Titans winning 28-14 over the Texans. giving them a shot to win the division. I mean, there's a chance this division is crazy. Next up, though, Jets taking on the Dolphins, AFC East matchup. Zach Wilson, wow, him and Tommy DeVito coming off winning Players of the Week, and I'm going to start Zach Wilson yet again. I think this Dolphins team, I think they have a few bad games every season. I think he has a bad game, or they have a bad game again. Give me Zach Wilson. I think he's going to do good. I'm going to sit. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to sit Garrett Wilson, though. I don't think Garrett Wilson is his main target this game. And he kind of gives the ball around and kind of just uses all the tools he has. They get Aaron Rodgers back soon, which could be a big help for him. So watch that coming late here in December. Give me the Dolphins winning this one close. I think they give up a lot of points. That's my prediction. I think they give up a lot of points. Give me the Dolphins winning 31-30 over the Jets. Next up, Kansas City Chiefs taking on the New England Patriots. And if you had told me this game was being played a few years ago, I'd have been, wow, all the firepower. And now it's just mid. The Chiefs, they're coming off a loss. They've been fine, but they've had a really iffy month. They haven't had anything going their way. Patrick Mahomes last week with the Kadarius Toney incident, and now the Patriots, they have just been playing terrible. Bill Belichick sounds like he's getting fired. He might be done after the season. I'm going to start any Kansas City Chiefs offensive player. I think they have a lot to prove after last week against the Bills. I'm going to sit any New England Patriots offensive player. They have done nothing this season. Ramondre Stevenson, he's terrible. There's no wide receivers. There's no quarterback. This offense is just abysmal. My score prediction, give me the Chiefs winning big. I think they have to have a comeback game. Give me the Chiefs winning 35-7 over the Patriots. Next up, Giants taking on the Saints, and the Giants, they've been surprising so far this season somehow. Tommy DeVito, what the heck? He just came out of nowhere, and Tommy DeVito now, he's leading this team to a decent record. They're 5-8, which is pretty good for a team that's not got very much firepower. I have a weird start. I'm going to start the Giants defense. I think they've been playing really good lately. I think they're going to have another big game against the Saints offense. I'm going to sit Derek Carr, though. I don't think he does very good against his defense for some reason. Also, a name to watch that could be off the wire. Darren Waller, he could have been dropped by a few people. He's coming off the IR. He could play late here in the playoffs. So he could be a pickup you could get in the playoffs if you need a tight end. My score prediction, though, give me a close game. I think the Giants are going to squeak out another win. Give me the Giants winning 21-20 over the Saints. Next up, though, Falcons taking on the Panthers. We'll keep this one short and sweet. I'm going to start any Falcons offensive player. They have been amazing so far late here in the season. They're 6-7. They've been playing pretty good. Bijan Robinson, obviously, he's one of the best players to start as a rookie on your fantasy team. And I'm going to sit any Panthers offensive player. Bryce Young, he's got 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He's been playing terrible this season. Please do not start Bryce Young or any Panthers offensive player for that matter. My score prediction, I think the Falcons, I think it's a lot closer than people say, but I think it's going to be still a win for the Falcons. Give me the Falcons winning 21-7 over the Panthers. Next up, though, 49ers taking on the Cardinals. And the 49ers, they have been hot lately. They have been really hot. Brock Purdy, he could be the MVP. He could. And that's why I'm going to start Brock Purdy if you have him. Also, Deebo Samuels, he has been nuclear lately. He's put up back-to-back 30-point games. Start Deebo Samuels if you have him. I'm going to sit Kyler Murray alongside James Conner. They haven't been very good so far this season. They've been fine. Kyler Murray's came back from his injury and played okay. But I'm going to sit either of them. Give me the 49ers winning big, though. I think they have a statement game. Give me them winning, we'll say 31-14 over the Cardinals. Next up, though, Rams taking on the Commanders. And the Rams, they almost beat the Ravens team last week. Lost in overtime on a punt return. Crazy. But this Rams team, they've kind of been a surprise so far this season. They have been a decent offense. Puka Nacua, he's came in and has 1,000 yards on the season. He's doing amazing. And the Commanders, they've been decent. Sam Howell, he has a lot of yards, not many touchdowns compared to interceptions, though. 18 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. I'm going to sit Sam Howell. And if you have Matthew Stafford sitting in your waivers, please pick him up. I think he's going to have a big game. He had 3 touchdowns last week, almost 300 yards. He's been playing really good. They throw the ball a lot there in L.A. So pick up Matthew Stafford if you can. Give me the Rams winning, we'll say 25-11. I know, crazy score over the Commanders. Next up, though, Cowboys taking on the Bills. And not many 3 o'clock games this week. There's a lot of teams playing on Saturday, and it's just a kind of weird schedule. But Cowboys taking on the Bills. Bills coming off the big win against the Chiefs. They've got some energy. They've got some heat. That's why I'm going to start Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs if you have them. They've been kind of inconsistent so far this season, but start them if you have them. Do sit James Cook, though. I don't know how much I trust him. Also, Dak Prescott, he's probably the leader in the MVP race right now. If you have Dak Prescott, please start him. He's been really good so far this season. Another name you could sit, Tony Pollard. He has had one 20-point-plus game so far this season, which is crazy to think about for how high he was being drafted. My score prediction, though, I think the Bills squeak one out. I think the Bills get a close win. Give me the Bills winning 24-23 over the Cowboys. Next up, Ravens taking on the Jags, and a lot of stuff riding on this game. Trevor Lawrence coming off arguably one of his worst games, had 3 interceptions. He's not doing very good. This Ravens offense there, they have been electric. They have been all you want, and that's why I'm going to start Zay Flowers if you have him. Zay Flowers, also another name, Odell Beckham Jr. He could be another start for you if you need him in the waivers. There are 2 players that could go off again. I think they're going to abuse this Jacksonville Jaguars secondary and do pretty good. I'm going to sit Trevor Lawrence, though. I don't think he does very good alongside Calvin Ridley. They've kind of just been based on how they both do. They do good based off each other. So I'm going to sit Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence. Give me the Ravens winning big. I think they're going to have a really similar score to last week. Give me 33-14 over the Jaguars. To finish it off, Monday Night Football, Eagles taking on the Seahawks. And this Eagles squad, they've been pretty good, but they've kind of just, their defense has been not as good as you'd think. Their offensive line as well has let up almost the same amount of sacks as they did in the past 2 years so far this year, which is crazy. Jalen Hurts, he has 19 touchdowns, but he has 10 interceptions, which is kind of concerning for a quarterback like him. The Seahawks, though, I mean, they're fine. They've had some injuries is the main problem. Kenneth Walker, he was injured for a few games. He is back. I'm going to sit Kenneth Walker, though. I don't think he does very good. Geno Smith is also questionable, so if you have Geno Smith, do not start him. Drew Lock will likely be a game-time decision. For the Eagles, though, I'm going to start DeAndre Swift. He's been kind of inconsistent so far this season. He had a few big games. I'm going to start him, though. I think he has a big game against the Seattle defense, and I think he goes off. Give me the Eagles to get a bounce-back win. I think they need it. Give me the Eagles winning 30-17 over the Seahawks. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. I'm Brody Heidemann with the Wingspan, the official student news source of Gretna East.